It's been a minute since I've done a Sunday night show. I think probably a week. What's up, ready? I'll put you on in a second, buddy. I'm excited about this conversation, man. I think it's gonna be insightful, very insightful. I think Reddy has a lot to say, man. He's been through a lot in these last few years. He's willing to be transparent. I reached out to him to see, not thinking he wanted to hop on, but he very much so accepted it, man. I greatly appreciated him accepting the invitation. But at the same time, he has a very powerful story that he needs to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like that other people need to hear and need to understand, especially men out here, man, and understanding. We do get served some lemons a lot of times, man, but you can't turn them lemons into lemonade. So I'm excited to hear, how Reddy's bounced back. It's been 10 years now since I think it's the 10-year anniversary of kind of going through this stressful process kicked off. So, he's come through on the other side of it, seems like successfully. I just can't wait to let my man get out here and tell his side of the story and say what happened and say how you feel right now. Ready? I'm about to bring you on, man. You ready? All right.
I'm ready.
What's up, buddy?
Nothing. What's up? Tell me what you want to ask.
What you say?
Whatever you want to ask, I'm here. I'm all yours. I admire what you're doing, and I want to help whatever I can.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. I really do, man. It's but you have a really powerful story to get out, within itself, man. And I think that like I said, I think that what you've been through, you normally hear things about injustices from the civil level and things like that within urban environments, and but not so much in business in that space. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't hear too much in detail, from as far as those who were impacted. And I know I haven't. I know that knowing you is kind of like, damn, bro. Like, I watch you work hard. I watch you grind for those years just to get to that space. So it wasn't like you just sneezed and it came to fruition. You worked 7 days a week, like double shifts. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to get to that space. So quietly, man, I told you through the text message, I said, bro, I really did get my grind from you. And like, watching you move, it showed me what it was like. That's what put me on my space to pursue success. Coming from my situation and my background, from how I seen life, I didn't think about working that hard. And it's not because I didn't have it in me. I didn't think about working that hard in that particular space. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen your grind, man, you pretty much gave me the blueprint to create my own thing. You know what I mean? And when I got sick, that's why I was so when I got depressed and went through a bipolar diagnosis and all that other stuff, got suicidal, it hurt me so bad, man, because I lost so much momentum. You know what I mean? And I was that year, 2009, is when it all hit. At the recession, everything came down. I lost the job. I lost the job at University of Maryland. I lost a part-time job behind that, and then I couldn't afford my tuition. So from that point on, I kind of slipped into a space, man, I never recovered from, and tried everything in my power to the point where my mind just gave out on me. Working multiple jobs, 2 full-time jobs, doing the same thing you did. You know what I'm saying? Like 7 days a week, not crying. From not at work, I have my kids. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
I just want to thank you, bro. Like, we had our differences back in the day, man, but I've never gotten to a space where I disliked you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always respected you. I always respected your hustle. I just knew we had to stay out of each other's lane. You know what I'm saying? So back then.
You're right. No.
Yeah. So it's man, like, nah, bro. Like, you gave me a lot of my hustle. You gave me a lot of my grind. And my son watches me like, bro, why do you like that? Why do you do that? Like, what are you working for? What are you training for? You know what I'm saying? So that part, man. Hey, thanks a lot, bro. But I think the people need to hear your story. I think that like I said, man, we can go with it. How did this all start, bro? Like after I know you, like I just talked about, I watched you grind for several years. It wasn't 1 year. It was like 2 or 3 years. At least I've watched you do these extensive shifts and overtime, and then had another job on the other side, and then you had your wife. You know what I'm saying? So watching you do all that, man, like when you finally, like, what happened?
What happened is, okay, where do I start? I came from India. When I'm 20 years old or 21, I guess. I came here to do my master's. I have a very humble beginning, like all of us. We didn't have a lot of money, and I wanted to come here. You come here with a dream, man. You come to this country with a dream. So, but, when you have a dream, a lot of people think that your dream, you when you sleep, you have a dream. No, when you have a real dream, you never sleep, man. You work hard to make the dream true.
Facts.
So you saw me, right? I work like 2 full-time jobs, one at Rite Aid, one at University of Maryland. I never took a day off. I worked double shifts. I never said no to double shifts. I mean, there are 2 days I worked triple shifts.
Yeah.
And yeah, they banned the triple shift at University of Maryland.
Yeah, you did kill that one.
Yeah. They said, a lot of people thought I am crazy for money. No, I was never crazy for money. I had a dream. I need to start my own pharmacy. To start my own pharmacy, I needed $600,000-$700,000. To gather that money, I was working like a dog. When I worked hard and hard and hard, when I had all the money, I quit university. I quit Rite Aid, and I started my own pharmacy. A lot of the times people think pharmacy is like, you fill a prescription. No, I started a pharmacy with one vision, is take care of the people that are ignored by the other pharmacies. Take care of the people that are not respected by the other pharmacies. So simple. Model is simple. But the patients in the hood, in the West Baltimore, East Baltimore, are people ignored. Nobody gives a shit about those people. Honestly, I'm telling you, the reason is when you have a patient with HIV or mental illness, walk into the pharmacy, into Rite Aid or Walgreens or whatever you say, those pharmacists working there, they always felt like they're doing a favor to the people in the East Baltimore.
Yeah.
They don't need to give any service. No respect at all. People with mental illness, it's a complicated condition.
Yes.
They have 13 medications, 14 medications. They're not in a situation to know which is better, which is not better.
Facts.
You ask one more question, right? It's a fucking crazy guy. Throw him out.
Get out of here. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you. That's what happened. When you are not answered by your pharmacist, they brand that person as a drug addict.
Yeah.
When they're drug addict, you know what I mean? They have no clue, man. You give Seroquel, you give alprazolam, you give something else, you give something else. You know what? You take one drug, you have a side effects. You take Seroquel, you sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
That mind, that patient only thinks, okay, let me take Seroquel and sleep. Let me not bother anybody.
Yeah.
They never took their drugs. And people think that, okay, you drug addict. I don't want to talk to you. They put in the computer, don't deal with this idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So when I started a pharmacy in Bel Air, somehow I didn't think of East Baltimore. I don't want to lie to you. But somehow I got a patient in East Baltimore. Somehow. And I went there. I said, okay, I saw in a halfway home, patient is treated like a shit. And I told the halfway home lady, you know what? Let me bring all the medication to you. You don't have to go to pharmacy. Let me take it up. And that lady loved me, and she gave me 9 patients because she loved my service.
Wow.
I never peed in my pants to come to East Baltimore at 9 o'clock in the evening. I delivered my medication and I went back because I always believed, you know what? That is what I have to do. I have to make a difference in one guy's life. Guess what happened? I started with 1 patient. Then it became one halfway home. It became 100 halfway homes, 1 clinic. It became 52 clinics. With 1 patient, became 10,000 patients. It all happened in 3 years. It all happened in 3 years. When I opened the pharmacy, I told the bank I need $80,000 loan. They said, okay, tell me how much you're going to make. I said, in 3 years, I will make $3 million in sales. Guess what I did? How many in 3 million? 3 years, I did $35 million.
In 3 years, you did 35 million.
In 3 years, just by service. Nothing else by service.
Oof.
Nothing by service. Psychiatric patients, they didn't know. They took drugs. Because of the drugs, they got some of them psychiatric conditions, right?
Yeah.
When they take the needles, they get HIV, they get Hep C.
Yeah.
So all my patients, they have substance abuse issues. So I took care of 1, but I was thinking I was taking care of psychiatric illnesses, but without knowing, I was taking care of HIV, I was taking care of substance abuse, I was taking care of infectious disease and everything. Then, when I'm getting all these patients, it pissed off some people. It pissed off people. Yeah. There are some people who own these stores for 30 years. And, they only people, they always feel like they're the only one who can run this pharmacy business, I guess. I don't want to say, I'm not a racist guy, but some of these, whenever there is a black guy or immigrant guy become successful, right? These prosecutors, they don't want you to be successful, man. They find fault in you. Yeah,
facts,
they want
bro.
to find fault in you.
That's facts, bro, and that's real. And I think we've had kind of a close look to that because of the field that we worked in. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of seen the level of treatment within that space, and even within the pharmacy, as far as some of management, some of the issues that happen within that space. So you're right. Like for some reason, man, it is everything that we get in that space we have to earn. we have to go overboard and earn, and we have to prove that. We have to give them no doubt. Now we're supposed to be here. Like you're not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely,
what you did, man. Like I think that was a space of that was your heart. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of what you paid attention to was actually needed. You're one of the few You one of the few medical providers that take this field seriously. You know what I'm saying? And do it for the right thing. And I think that was that. That when you do things that way, you have God on your side. And I think that's why things took off the way for you the way that it did. And I feel like we're gonna dig into what happened in a second, but I do feel like that's it's always a negative and positive pull. I think that negative pull was the negative side of the world that didn't want to see you succeed. But the story about that in every religion. You know what I'm saying? Like you stay true, it overcomes. You know what I'm saying? So like let's talk about the lemons, bro. Like now that I like. They don't understand your grind because it wasn't seen. You had to be there. Those that worked with us seen it. Like it was a joke. And when you worked that triple shift, you should have seen how like they were almost they were sick. That they was like, who? Why would you do that? How could it? Like management was teed off that happened. You know what I mean? So it was in a space where, but I've always knew, bro. Like I'm like, I knew. I'm like, this man got a grind, bro. And I found out like you bought the computers and everything and things. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Like nah. So like when I heard the good things were happening for you and things like that, I was happy for you, bro. Because it was like I watched you grind and bust your ass for that, right? And then when I seen the article come out in the paper and I read it, I was like, bro, it don't make sense. Like, okay, like this dude knew University of Maryland policies like the back of his goddamn hand. He was managing multiple satellites. If we did anything sideways, man, he would trip. He would go off. Like so, I don't see him busting his ass for this amount of years in this way. Only to go into a space of to go in that kind of space to be that irresponsible of management. And I know that if anybody knew you, they would know that no, bro, that's not it ain't possible. So what happened, Reddy?
So I built the pharmacy. I grew to close to I think in 2013, in 5-6 years, I grew to $70 million company, and I had pharmacies in 6 states. Maryland, Pennsylvania, DC, North Carolina, Michigan, and you name it, man. I was growing. I was supposed to be like a couple of $100 million business. Then I hired some people, and one of the guy I bought, he's a Jewish guy and white guy from Rite Aid. And he promised me the whole world that he will work hard and So I gave him so much money and I bought him, and he was not doing his job. So I sat with him for like 6-7 months. I told him, bro, I'm paying you 6-figure salary, man. I give you a car, I give you all this. You better work, man. You're not doing. I wrote him up so many times. There's so many emails.
Yeah.
And I told the guy after 9 months, I said, man, you're not working out for me. I'm sorry. I go. If you don't change, I'll let you go. And then he quit his job and went to, he wanted to claim unemployment. And I said, and he told the unemployment people that I fired him. He actually resigned. Unemployment called me, and I said, no, I didn't fire him. He resigned. I just gave him the resignation letter. And this guy has balls to call me and tell me, my employee, he called my HR and say, if you tell unemployment that I resigned, I'll go to FBI and say Reddy is fraud.
What?
It's in email. Everything is in email. He said, if you tell unemployment the truth, I will go to FBI and say that you guys are doing fraud and you're immigrant people and I'm a Jewish guy. They will listen to me. I said, go fuck yourself. That's what I told him.
Yeah.
When I have 110 employees, if one employee threatened me like this, if I let him do whatever he wants, then I'm doing something wrong, literally. You know what I mean? I said,
yeah.
And this idiot, they went to FBI. And of course, FBI loved it. An immigrant guy, he came with shit, nothing. And how can he have $100 million pharmacy? Yeah, I was living in a 5-acre house, but I bought it on a loan. I didn't pay cash. Yeah. I bought it on a loan, man. I have $100 million business. I can't buy $900,000 house.
Right.
I was paying taxes, $4 million or $5 million a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I bought this house and this guy living in a mansion. He must be doing fraud. And guess what? They did undercover. They sent fake prescriptions to 3 stores. And we didn't do any fraud. And then I think what they did is, they sent to 1 store, we didn't do fraud. Then they hired one white employee who is a friend of this guy. Uh-huh. And I think I don't know what happened, but she's under the impression that if she planned evidence, she's going to make a lot of money. And yeah, so she started planting the evidence for them. And so FBI did undercover, I think FBI or MFCU, they did undercover operation. They sent fake prescriptions to 3 pharmacies and 2 pharmacies, one in Park Heights, one in Montclair. They didn't do anything wrong, and they have no clue. One store has a black pharmacist, and one store has an Indian pharmacist, and all the technicians are African American. And those 2 stores in the hood, they didn't do anything wrong.
Nothing.
The store where the white employee who's planting the evidence did all the fraud. And they said, okay, we found a fraud, and they raided me. And when they raided, they put me on a television and say, hey, we found a fraudulent guy. And they put my picture everywhere. They found bullshit, right? I didn't do anything wrong. And they forced my employees to tell lies. They told them they're going to charge them, they're going to put them in jail. And man, they did anything and everything in the book that they're not supposed to do.
So I read in one of the articles, right, that there was, so once everything got planted, the way this case was pushed was also completely like mishandled as well, right? So you got the lead, what was the lead agent or the prosecutor, that she actually got a promotion even after everything was dismissed.
Yeah. And I think if I'm not wrong, this prosecutor, if I'm not wrong, I was told she took down, she more interested in taking down the immigrants or black people only. Yeah.
I mean, like it's so, man.
And I was told that this prosecutor also goes to the same synagogue where other pharmacy owners goes.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't prove all those things, but I was told. That's the word on the street.
But there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, my question here is, they do 30. Every pharmacy, when you have 10,000 patients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They didn't go to one doctor and ask her, hey, did your patients got the medication? If I have HIV patients, like 500 HIV patients, what happens if I don't give medication to HIV patients? What happens? Their HIV level will go up. They never interviewed any HIV patient, not even one patient.
But the people that, even in the other case, right outside of the people they interviewed, they confirmed that they received the medication, right?
They never did anything, man. They should have done so much shit, but they did. They believed I was fraud. They thought, okay, there's no way he's not fraud. He is fraud. That's how they started the investigation. That's how they did it. I mean, they took me down, and Devin, I put every single money in the business. I never took any money home. My salary was like 100 grand. Right. That's all the money I took. That's it. I never took anything else.
Right.
And when this happened, man, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any savings. My wife is pregnant. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I have $17 million life insurance. I thought, if I kill myself, $7-8 million would help my business float, because banks stop my credit. I want my business to run.
Right.
So I tried to kill myself for that, and I thought maybe also my babies might have some money too, so they can live happily. So I tried to cut my wrist. Nothing happened. Grace of God. I mean, I got like a current shock, and I woke up and I called my wife. I said, you know what? I did a stupid thing. Let me fight the battle. God has a different plan. So I checked and called 911, and I checked in myself. I came back, and I went to trial. Before going to trial, government offered me so many times plea bargain. I said, go screw you. I'm not going to take any plea. I didn't take anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I went.
So like how quick, like from the pursuit of the case to you getting to this place of suicide, how much time lapsed in between that space? Like, did you
36 hours or 30 hours?
And
it was so instantaneous. I'll tell you one thing. I mean, it's not weak, it's not but it's instantaneous. I only have one thought in my brain: how I can keep this business up and down. Bank said I can't use the line. My wholesaler said I need to pay the money. I needed $4 to $5 million to run the business. I didn't have any savings. So I wrote a letter to my wife. I said, hey, if something happened to me, you will get insurance. Keep half the money to run the business. Business is a great business. I have 110 employees. I don't want to throw all of them on the street. They're very hardworking people. And so, I mean, so I did what I did. Is it wrong, right? I didn't think of anything else. I didn't think of, it was very wrong decision. So I tell everybody,
Right.
don't take that. Suicidal is like bullshit. I mean, yeah, you go through tough time, but that's one time. So, but fortunately, what they did is they did a mental evaluation and they didn't find anything wrong with me. So they said, you know what? So I did it because of the impulse or whatever the thought process. So I was never on any medication or anything, but I knew sometimes I was depressed, but I wanted to beat my depression on my own. I think I did, honestly. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's not happens with everybody. Trust me. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's not easy.
So, but the one part I want to bring attention to, man, is like you hear so many times people say check on your good friends and things like that, right? But when you hit that space, a lot of people don't realize, man, like I wasn't in that space where I needed to be checked up on. I knew like what I was doing. I was done, and I was just ready. I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad. It was just like, all right, man. Like
I don't give a shit, right?
I don't give a shit. I don't have no feelings about it. You know what I'm saying? So other than my kids, like making sure they're good, having things set up in the kids, at least, but like similar to you, like okay, I got this little bit of insurance money over here. At least it'll hold them over for a few years. Like it's better than I can do right now. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
I know you're right.
It's in that space, man, where you don't. It's nothing for you to check up on. It's not at that point because we know what we're dealing with. If we're not coming to you and telling you in hand and asking for help, it's nothing you can really say to try to kind of change our mind. It's something that we have to do on our own, right? But I wanted to also bring to the side of it, man, where like you said, you had to bring yourself out of that space. Like you that like outside of all of that, recognizing what it was, what you were dealing with. Bro, there's nobody that can help you out of that space except you. A preacher can't preach for you. A rabbi can't preach for you. You know what I'm saying? Like a minister can't minister to you. A doctor can't save you. There ain't no medication that's going to pop you back into a space. So I try to bring attention to like how you feel is valid, but now what? You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're right. Actually, I mean, it's not easy. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, see what happens is I sent you 2 pictures. When I was doing so well, I was meeting presidents, man. I was meeting governors. I was meeting all these things. All of a sudden, and the government, when they want to kill you, right? You know what they do? They make you brand as a terrorist, or they make you a drug dealer. They make you corrupt. They make you something.
It's a textbook. Bring a man down.
Yeah.
How to kill a man.
And
how to kill a man without killing him.
Yeah, exactly. They throw so much shit on you and cleaning you, and they throw shit and they say you're smelling, you're bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, so when it all happened, I didn't know what to do because I was never expecting this to happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? First time I sat down, but I realized, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to fight. I tried to kill myself. Nothing could happen. So you know what? I'm not going to let it. I'm going to fight. So I went to trial, Devin, and I lost the trial. And all my 5 employees came and they said that I was fraud. And I didn't know at the time that one employee's father was dying of cancer in India. And they told him, if you lie, we will send you to India to see your father. So he came and
dirty, man, like textbook tag.
Yeah, and they said another girl said I was fraud, and they told her, hey, we can help you get some immigration status, maybe green card, something. And so they did so much shit. Nobody knows, right? The jury doesn't know. And every minute they, so. But anyway, I lost the trial, and the judge told me, hey man, go home, spend time. My son was like 8 months, and my daughter was 4 years. And judge said that go home for 4 months, and I'll maybe sentence you for 12 to 15 years. So I went home, and I didn't know. I mean, I told my wife I didn't do it. So we started all over, and we wanted to fight. Second time, I got a great attorney.
Okay.
And it started back. So 4 months became 9 months. I stayed home. And after that, it became within 1.5 years, we proved how the government planted the evidence. Government knew that they're planting evidence. Government knew there is no fraud. Government made up the numbers to make it fraud, looking like a fraud. They know every shit. And they did it. They took me down and they were happy. Till today, they say I'm fraud. Till today. That's how they are.
Yeah, but it's why. So you hear this stuff, man, and like I've had it's funny, right? Because when I take my experience through life, right, and I take yours, and people sit back and think that this stuff only happens in movies, bro. Like this stuff is not just the movies thing. This is real life. This stuff is coming from somewhere. People move like this, where lives are lost and impacted for decades, generations, just off of the sneaky stuff that's done within this capitalistic society. And I think the part that's so scary is that they bring attention. We bring attention. This Western culture brings attention to everybody else's downfalls, faults, that the things that they're doing sideways. It's scary, bro, because it's way more going on here, but it's done so quietly, right? Because they don't have to kill you. They know if they kill you, it's going to bring too much attention. So they're going to kill you. They're going to kill your reputation. They're going to kill your character. They're going to kill your livelihood and things like that. And that's just like that. Like you said, bro, get into that space, it makes you want to kill yourself. It makes you want to take yourself out, even if it's not of a place of pity. The ultimate decision is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's scary, bro, because when I went through the psych ward, man, there was so many different stories that I was just, people had stories, man. When I was just sitting back thinking, like, bro, these people were not mentally ill. We're dealing with some shit that people are ignoring. That you just like, bro, you don't see this? Like, nobody else is speaking up, but you mean to tell me I'm the only one dealing with this and nobody else is speaking, right? I didn't think about it for myself until I was talking to a lady and she was diagnosed with like severe depression. Like, she was clinically like depressed, like the worst case scenario, right? So I was sitting back and I was listening to her and she was talking, and I asked her when did it go wrong? And she said, after I lost my son, my only son, right? And then you could tell, man, like this lady, she wasn't just talking like her son was an angel. This boy sounded angelic. You know what I'm saying? So that's all she had. That's all she worked for. That's all she drive for. And now she has nothing. Don't have him to love. She don't have the motivation to work. And I'm sitting back thinking, like, man, like this is what's supposed to happen. This isn't an illness. Let's address the issue of what's going on, right? And now bringing a lot of attention to lately, like the environment in which we live in. Are we really mentally ill, or are we dealing with some ill shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, especially within the capitalistic society, it's in a space, man, where capitalistic breeds this type of thing, because it has to be, it's jealousy, it's envy. There has to be an underserved population that had for this thing to work, right? And a lot of people they get frustrated when I say that, and I'm not disagreeing. I do agree that it's good for some stages, but there are people that suffer tremendously, like those people over in East.
No, you're right, absolutely, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my heart, it breaks my heart to say, how many people with the mental illnesses are mistreated and misunderstood, misdiagnosed, right? And some of them, they had no clue that they're making mistake. They're doing crime, man. They just throw them in jail and there is no treatment there. You know how many people they treat them like dogs, man. Even in the outside the society, people with mental illness, there's only few, not all the providers are also not doing their job, but there are great providers, I was fortunate to work with many of them, good ones, but it's unfortunately, US is one of the best countries, but it has the worst healthcare system. It has, you know what I mean? They spend so much money, they waste so much money, they don't do things right. When people with heart, with passion, they want to change something and try to do something, if they become successful, and these idiots, who are like corrupt and racist, they all their goal is they want to take them down, and you know what? They threw out 110 of my employees on the street, and 12,000 of my patients didn't get the medication for in a regular way like they were getting. You know what I mean? They didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the system is like that. At the same time, often people ask me, is every prosecutor a racist? Is every FBI agent a racist? I don't think so.
You don't think so, but it's a lot. It's enough.
It's
enough of them to have an impact.
One person is enough to 30 years, or 40 years, if this guy work and he keep on locking up people, you know what I mean? One person can do so much damage. And then you don't believe your own government. You don't believe your own system. That's not fair.
So that's the part that kind of it stifles me, right? Because you're absolutely right. One person can have that huge impact, right? But just think about this type of thing, which you've been going through, man, and going on forever. Just in different cases, in different court systems, and different courts. You know what I'm saying? All across the United States. So There are enough. There are enough to have a traumatic impact on today's society in every angle you
Yeah.
think about.
You know what I do? I go to law school to law school. I go to law schools. I
Mm.
teach them. I tell them my case. Hey, this is what the corrupt people did this to me. When you did something wrong knowingly, you destroy a family, and those people destroyed my family.
Facts.
But grace of God, I am strong enough to come back. God helped me to be strong enough to come back.
Yeah, facts.
But I tell everybody, if you ever do something wrong, think of me and my children.
Yeah.
So if it stops you from doing wrong, don't be corrupt, don't be racist. Because the guy looks not like you, don't think that the guy can do wrong. Follow
Yeah.
the facts, don't follow the people. That's what I tell. I go to Stanford Law School. I tell them there every year. I go to, a couple more law schools are inviting me. And I'm actually, there's a one law school there making my case one of the part of the course.
Case study.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, it's sad. It's sad,
It, it's scary too, man, because like I said, like just seeing how hard, like, bro, like how I don't think the average person couldn't work that hard. I'm telling you that the average person can't work that hard. You have to have a different type of mentality to do that, right? And then that what you went through, man, that can break anybody. But you decided to keep pushing through and keep fighting and keep going through. Now you're telling your stories to the lawyers and the law students over at Stanford and several other law students are inviting you out, man. It's great. But I commend you on being able to walk to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Like wanting to talk to them and push it, because a lot of people get into that space of saying, like, what's the point? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
I work with many associations.
Mm.
I work with, if anybody has any issues, I will go to their house. I sit with them. I tell them what is the best thing to do, best way to do it. And I tell them, hey, who's your attorney? I know. I mean, if they need an attorney, I will suggest somebody. I don't charge anything. I pay for my own travel. I go to California. I go to Texas. I go anywhere. If they need help, if they reach out to me, I go.
You're a modern day civil rights worker.
No, I have to, because the reason when I was going through, Devin, nobody helped me.
Yeah, facts.
Nobody helped me. I had to find a help on my own, and I used to pray a lot, and I used to do. But now I think, you know what? God saved you for a reason. So go and help us.
Now go do the work. Now let's
What you're doing. Just like what you're doing. You're bringing awareness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
man.
beat it, and you're trying to now tell the people, hey, don't do this, because it's okay. It's okay. If you have some problem, it's okay. I went through it. I survived. If I survive, you can survive.
Fact,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, fact. Right. Hey, man, that's big, right? That's you went through a lot. You went through a whole lot in that space, man. You still you see the text message saying something similar. You've been through so much, but you still have the heart to go out here and be good and do good. Knowing the evils that are out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you know a lot more than one side of it, because you know what happened here. You experienced the ways crazy. So I know what happened when you went back in India, man. For you to come here, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? So now you kind of got like a worldly view of man, what's out there, but you're using the good left in you to combat all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, nah, bro, I commend you. So last week was the 10-year anniversary of winning.
Yeah, it happened. 10 years ago on July 13, it happened, and I tried to cut it down on myself. July 23rd, I'm sorry. On July 25th, I tried to commit suicide. So it's a 10th year anniversary, and it's not a big thing or small thing, but I try to remind myself those things, those days. I remind them every day. You know what? I survived that. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't sleep more than a couple of hours, but it's okay. I wanted to build it. So I try to sue the government, and you can't beat them. You can't. The system. One guy, government pays one guy to put you in jail, and government pays one guy to tell this how many years you go to jail. So they pay for the judges, they pay for the agents, they pay for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's a complicated system.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many people in jail are on death row for things they didn't do a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am. In 200 years, there's only 2,000 people are exonerated of their crimes. I'm one of them. 2,000 in 200 years.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing within itself, but it's scary, bro. Like
There are 3.8 million people, 4.3 million people in jail. 4.3 million people. Only 2,000 are exonerated.
yeah,
You know what I mean? How many people didn't do? A shit lot of people didn't do anything wrong. You know
facts.
why they're still there? Because they can't talk properly. Because they have some condition. You know what I mean?
Yep, you're right, bro. Like if they're considered mentally ill, they're addicted, they're considered drug addicts. They don't have any real therapy or any type of what do they call it? Not reconciliation, but
Yeah.
rehabilitation. You know what I'm saying? Like
These prosecutors and agents, they get awards, right? They put 100 people in jail, they get a $25 award, I guess. They get this award, right? Hey, I put so many, huh?
Yeah. So
they have no remorse, man. They have no remorse.
Like, bro, like when you like fighting something so heavy, like, bro, what did it look like? Like, how did you the mental exercise to get out of that mindset? Because it's not. It ain't like you just wake up and say, "I'm gonna be tough." There's a process behind that.
Everybody think I'm brave, right? I tell everybody, when you're the weakest, when you feel you're the weakest, actually you're the strongest. Because I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, when you're the weakest, everybody think you're the weakest. You think you're the weakest. You know what? There is no bottom, but that is the bottom. You can't go any bottom than that.
Only way up. Yeah.
You can go only up, not down, because you reach your bottom, right?
Yeah.
And guess what happens? You have 10 problems. You don't have money. You're not in a good relation. Your children don't like you. Or whatever it is, right? You have 10 issues.
Yeah.
You can't solve all 10. Pick one, what is the most important for that day, and work on that one problem until it is solved. Then go to the second one and work for a few minutes, work on the second one, and then go to the third one.
Yeah.
That's how I did it. I wrote down all my problems, and I always took the most important problem and I start working on it. And when that is done, I went to the second one, and then the next one. And all along do is keep praying. Because that prayer, whatever you do and your family do with you, right? That keeps you the strongest, that keeps you the positive, that keeps you focused, that keeps you brave, that keeps you like, you know what? Yes, God is next to me. He's guiding me.
Yeah, facts.
He's walking me.
Facts.
So I'm not afraid right now.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Now you kind of feel like invincible a little bit, right? Like is this in that space where you when you like I've read and I've heard, some of the older generations say that space. Like I've always wondered, like, man, how do they walk so confidently, knowing like they're okay? And it's that space of walking with knowing that I asked somebody one day and they told me, it was like, I know God walked with me. If God be for you, who can be against you? And when he said that, it was just like, I wish I could think like that at that time. I know,
you're right. So I always tell everybody, right? I'm a converted Christian. I tell everybody, what's the Bible says? The Bible has so many stories. David and Goliath, right?
Yeah.
Joseph. You have all these stories. And everybody say, I believe in God. If you believe in God, don't worry.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, so we trip ourselves up. So it's funny that you're saying that, man, because
you say, I believe in God, and you say, oh, it's not happening. Shit. Shut up and believe in God. That's it.
Believe in God.
Right?
Yeah. Bro, you know what's crazy, man? I've gotten in arguments, right? Because with friends, where I'll say, like, I'm like, I know what money is needed for, right? But I don't, like, I have people in my circle that have it. I've had that are millionaires, that are CEOs in that space where, bro, but the one thing I've learned in that is like, yeah, I know what it's used for. I need it for my family. But the only reason I need money is to do good. Only reason I need money is to make sure my family's good. The only reason I need money is to make sure these kids that I work with are good in the space of doing something for them that's going to be around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But like it's crazy because when I started off already, like my dreams were to go to graduate my PharmD. I was busting my ass trying to get in the pharmacy school, get a PharmD, get my a dual degree, and what was that, man? Community. It was a community. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a dual from University of Maryland PharmD and a community something, bro. And I wanted it for the amount of I wanted to own pharmacies and public health. It was yeah. So a master's of public health. So it got to that space, man, where but I was doing it because I wanted the cars, I wanted the houses, I wanted the lifestyle, right? So I've never said that in a space where I've never loved money at one point in my pursuit of it, but my pursuit of it and the way I looked at it, man, drove me crazy, right? Because I was fighting with something so hard, and I was chasing something that was escaping me. And I had the financial literacy. I've had the people around me and the support to kind of guide me if I needed to go in that space. And I felt like for whatever reason I was cursed because it was like, why would this be happening right here and right now? I felt like that was God telling me, like, you had a nice car. What did it do for you? You've made the money as a technician. What did that do for you? You see these people around you. They you know what it takes to get to that point, but you see the grind that they've taken you. You worked all these days, and then you're still tired, and then no one still believes you're working hard enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
You're right. No, I agree with you.
And then you go into that space, man, where it's hard, man, because I think not only money is the root of evil, I think capitalism is the root of all evil. If you want to get down to the bottom of it, because of where like I can capitalize well, you know what I'm saying? And but like, who's at fault? Who suffers?
Right. No, you're right. No, I mean, I'll tell you one thing, right? After all this happened, I don't have money. I didn't have any money, but I don't want to work for anybody.
Facts.
Because you know why? And I guess what? I never took unemployment all this time. My wife is working, and me and my wife, we didn't like to take. We didn't want. I mean, it's not wrong to take unemployment. I'm not saying, but me, I thought I always contribute to the system. I don't take from the system. That's how I was kind of strong or not strong, maybe stupid or whatever it is.
I got you. No, but it was genuinely you, and that's you got to understand you because it's not. I was in a similar space, man. It was in that space where it's not like it was like I didn't need it. I'm perfectly capable of going out here and busting my ass.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So, but you don't have a lot of money. You know what? I don't have money. I'm still going to eat food, but I can't eat out. That's all. Right? It's okay. And then I told my wife, and my wife said, do whatever you want. Makes you happy. I know you're good. So I'm a business guy. I came up with an idea. So I told friends, I don't have money. I have an idea.
What's the lemonade, bro?
Yeah, and they gave me money to start the business. And
you go back to pharmacy?
Yeah, again pharmacy. Yeah.
Nice, bro. How's it looking for you now?
Yeah, it's good, doing good. I mean, I think we're going to do very well very soon. But my question here is, it's not. I don't own the company, but I work for the company. They pay me salary, but it's my idea, so that keeps me. You know what? Yeah, I'm still like a good business guy. But I work hard again. I travel a lot. Right now I'm in Los Angeles. I came here for a meeting.
Okay.
And so now all I tell you, Devin, is we all will have a dark days.
Yeah.
We all will have a hard times.
Mm-hmm.
And all I tell you is, more than humans, there are two things you rely. One is three things actually. One is God. Second is your family. Third thing is your close friends.
Facts.
Everybody, when you are like, man, I have seen shit. People say, hey man, I love you, man. But when you are really needed, nobody gives a shit about
nobody gives a shit.
But there some people
understandably. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is
but there are good friends too, Devin. I had a lot of good friends, fortunately.
Facts.
Yeah. A lot of friends paid me my legal fee for 3 years.
Facts.
I didn't have money. So they said, no, man, you're fighting. We'll pay you. So they took care of me. It doesn't mean that, all I'm saying is, yes, I had good friends. I had great family support. I had God's help. If I say today, Devin, hey, man, I am great. I am like strong. No bullshit,
I didn't. The answer is like, I'm still working. I'm still working, bro. And I respect that one. And that helped me out a lot so much, man, because I've just recently gotten to that space where I was struggling with this. And the consistency, because I'm like, bro, like, I can't tell people how to beat this thing. I'm still figuring it out myself. I can tell you what I try. I can tell you what has worked.
Exactly.
I could give you educational direction and point in the direction of resources, but I can't give you an answer. And that was my biggest fear, man. That kept me doing it. But here,
I tell everybody prayer.
You have to have
help you.
You have to have a faith.
You have to have a faith. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, man, at the end of the day is we get back to that space. It's funny that space that you mentioned is neglected as a space is my trenches. That's why I love to do my work.
That's why I normally, my attorneys say don't talk, because they don't give all the details to everybody. But when I know you, man,
Yeah, facts.
I mean, I know you said one thing, right? We had our own differences, right?
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing
facts.
is, like, what happens, Devin, is a lot of people didn't like me when I was working as a supervisor because you know
Facts.
what? I was like, telling people follow the fucking rules, and these people telling I'm not following the rules. You know what I
That's
mean?
what's so weird about it, bro. Like, no, like, wait a minute, bro. But that's where you got to be careful, man, too, because that's where I've never lived life in the space of unless it was something like in a street perspective where I knew that my life was in danger or your life was like in that space. But I've stayed away from you. In that space where we have disagreements, bro, I've never been the type of guy to hate somebody or
Yeah.
dislike you or form of opinion if I didn't know you off of how I felt at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, bro, like, and I've stepped back and now I'm 40 years old, bro, and I used to think I was stupid, but now I sit back, bro, that was the smartest thing I could ever did in my life. And now I think like I sit back, bro. A lot of people think that I'm an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not.
Everybody, my question here is, I always believed when I go to work, I didn't go to work to please
Friends.
my friend. I go
Yeah.
to work to do my job.
Facts.
Because that's what, right? I have a friend called Jonah. You know Jonah.
That's my man. Hey, Jonah is my
I
ace
know,
best
right?
friend.
Jonah was my buddy, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I was a supervisor, Jonah used to come late every day. I said, Jonah, I can't treat you different than other people. And Jonah came late 4 times, 5 times. I wrote him up, and I said, Jonah, if I write you up one more time, you're fucking gone. He said, don't do that. I'm your friend. I said, I don't give a shit. I have to treat everybody equal. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this: look, Jonah don't look like him, but Jonah is gangster. that man has some balls on him, bro. Like that's one of my really good friends to this
My
day. Hit me up the other
character
day,
is,
man.
my character is like, you know what, you're my buddy, you need help, I'll help you. But if I'm doing my job, and if my job is to make sure you follow the rules, I make sure you do that. That's all my job is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was.
I'm an
I remember
asshole.
that. I think we went to trauma pharmacy one night. You were fed up, bro. It was overnight, like night shift. And
I know. I never slept. You know what I mean? There are pharmacists who used to sleep. I never did. I worked like an asshole. But my issue here is, I didn't know. People think me asshole. Yeah, man, all along. I didn't give a shit. It's okay.
Yeah.
But what you believe. You know why I took this one when I saw you? I'm always proud of you. You always try to help somebody. Every post. I don't know how many liked it. You didn't give a shit. You wanted to post something to make sure it could help somebody.
Facts, bro. I'm
You,
talking one person.
yeah, with one person it
One
helps.
person.
What do you think is, that is what moves me. That's exactly what I do. I tell people, when government comes with all these stupid charges, they want to put, I said, you know what? Stop being afraid. Once you're afraid, you can't think properly.
Facts. Scientific fact, though. That's a scientific fact.
No, it's fact. A lot of people say, oh, we're going to throw you out for freaking 100 years. So plead guilty. I know. And you can go for 15. And the guy knew he didn't do it. If he didn't, he thinks, oh my God, they might throw me for 100. So they take the plea. That's how half the Baltimore is in jail because of the fear.
Yeah. That's
you know
facts,
what I mean?
Man. That's facts. It's just weird, man, when you see these type of things happen because you mentioned something that I agree with the other day, man. And if that we all know that if you were Caucasian, if you were Jewish, bro, none of this stuff, they would have said, oh no, what? Ready? No. And then went on about that business.
Jonah is saying, are you talking about me? Jonah.
What's up, Jonah? Rabovitz, what's up, my man?
Jonah, it's not you, Jonah. It's a different Jonah we're talking about, man. Yeah, it's not about you.
No, man. Look, Jonah used to have me dropping them off at the synagogue on Friday nights with my music blasting.
No, I love Jonah.
No,
all I'm trying to tell you
is
nothing bad, but I mean, all I was telling is, yes, I was an asshole. People thought me of an asshole, but but it does not mean you're an asshole.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody is misperceived, misunderstood, missing, right? But at the end of the day, nobody knows our own battles, what we are going through. Nobody has a clue.
Hey, he just inboxed me, man. He's crying, laughing. He said, of course, he's talking about me with the crying emoji, the laughing out loud emoji. Jonah, we're not talking about you, bro. I promise we're not.
Jonah, come on, Jonah. We're not talking about you. You know that.
Nah, man. Hey, bro, like I commend you, man. Like really do. Like, that's the one thing. Like, if you get caught up in a space where somebody calls you on that, like, that's the one thing I've learned. to not judge, right? Anybody,
No,
because you know so
just
much.
want to add one thing about Jonah. When I'm going through, Jonah is one of the few people who actually reached out to me.
Oh no, bro, hey, bro, Jonah's a genuine friend.
Yeah,
Like,
he
you know what I'm
reached
saying?
out to me and he said, "You know what? I'm here. I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for your family." He's
Yeah,
one of the few people. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
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 I didn't make Jonah feel like a bad guy. Jonah, I was telling,
yeah,
my thought is only like a crazy. I was so by the books. That's what I
yeah.
was trying to tell.
No, I think Jonah has a sense of humor on this one. I'm
I know
pretty sure.
he is. I mean,
No,
Jonah is a
but
great guy. Yeah, he's a
but
good friend.
no, you're right, man. He has a great heart, man. He's a genuine guy, bro. He's somebody to have in your corner. Even if you don't talk to him in years, you still pick up on the same conversations, the same energy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he is.
it's
Yeah,
it. But no, man. It's funny because you have to like life shows you and show me, man. Like I understand why people moving that way. When you've seen so many things and you understand so much, man. When you understand a perspective of life that most people don't pay attention to, you have to move in that space for your protection. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I'm not being an asshole towards you. A lot of times I'm protecting myself because when I did
you
this,
have. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you've been screwed so many times in the place where like I can't give that to everybody. Now, if you know me, I'm a really nice guy, and probably I'm a really nice guy than most people. But to a few people, they can't stand my ass, and I don't pay that any mind because that's not who I am at heart. And if you feel that way, then we didn't have proper interactions to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So it's in that space, man, where I've never judged anybody, and I'm proud of myself for that. Even having the discernment that I have, I let you prove yourself to me, right? So it was in a space where at the time I was young too, bro. So I wasn't always the most respectful. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. So it was in that space where it was I always understood, bro. But I respect people for I look at the bigger picture. I always have. I've always looked at how somebody's moving. Like okay, they you assume they asshole, but you can't be a genuine asshole if you're doing certain things like this. You can't be a genuine asshole if you and Jonah are really good friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
yeah,
then even now to the space, man, where even if, within that space, coming through that environment on University, man, you get a little bit of everything. You know that, right? So
yeah, yeah.
had some racist assholes or people that would assume to be racist assholes that worked in the pharmacy, man. But this particular person, bro, I found out he was just ignorant, right? And that he really wasn't exposed to a lot of the urban activities and environments for whatever reason. But man, to this day, this guy had gave me real estate jewels, bro, that I haven't heard the most successful person on here public speaking what is that public speaking or motivational speaking towards. I haven't heard anybody give these advices out that he gave me years ago, and he's successful in business. But did he have some tendencies to be a little racist or say some asshole things? Yes. But at the end of his day, man, in his heart, we kind of see eye to eye on a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like without argument, we're gaining understanding. But unfortunately, bro, like how we got out of the space of looking, we gave ourselves labels as far as where we're from and how we interact and our environment and things like that. And we're forgetting that one thing, bro, we are a part of this environment. We all was created in the same space of gorillas, apes, dogs, everything else. So we have a order that we're supposed to live in. And a lot of that stuff is called like, as far as I believe that having this divide of racism and all the way down to the daggone shot and arguing about scientific things as far as what's males, what's women, bro, we don't have to argue about that. We know this stuff. All this stuff is direction. How do we fix it? Because you have skills on this side within your culture that if I bring my culture together and use my skills and bring our stuff together, bro, we have a 100% functioning, well-oiled machine as a world society. But we're so divided, bro, and trying to capitalize off each other that we're not in the space of working together. And you come up with situations like you did, man, where you bust your ass. But I guarantee you, whoever that person was that started this whole thing to trickle down didn't do a tenth of the work that you put in his entire lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So it's I say all that to say, man, is that like we live in a sick environment, and before you go out there, like there are some people that have ailments that legit need to be treated and need to be medicated. But if you need to be medicated for it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to be medicated back then. I needed to be until I gained my ground again. But there was a time when I realized, like, bro, like with my education behind pharmacy, bro, I'm like, man, a lot of this medication was used for something else 10 years ago. How do they figure out like this is good for me? And why do I feel like this now? I felt suicidal before, bro. I thought about suicide maybe 4 times. But now that I'm on this fucking medication, I thought about suicide every night before I went to bed. You know what I'm saying? Like my anxiety was terrible before I got on clonazepam, But then I noticed that when I didn't have it, my anxiety was 1 million times worse than it was when I had before I even got on medication. So I thought, me having my background, I realized, bro, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to something else, trying to escape something, and this addiction is putting me in a space of, in a worse space, because now my family, now I don't feel. Now I know I love my family, I love my kid, I love my wife, but if I don't feel like if I don't feel it in a way to express it, like, you can't make that. You can't make your brain process that stuff. Your brain is so powerful, right? So I had to go back to remembering what love may have felt like. When I put it all together, man, I was like, man, this medication, and you can't get well off of this. Now I stay on this medication, and I'm going to be privy to something my entire life. But I understood the treatment plans that we had. I understand that the mental health space that we have today in treatment. But I agree with you, man, how you took your route. You have to do this on your own. You're not in a space of totally 1,000% on your own. It's okay if you need to talk to somebody. If you need medication, take it. But the work, you have to put one foot in front of the other every day, sometimes every second, every millisecond, like to the point where, bro, after 3 minutes and you're tired, you got to be okay, I'm exhausted. Let me go lay down for a little bit. Get back up and work again till you get back to your stamina. And it may take years. But don't have your space set up on money or anything tangible in this life outside of your family or your loved ones, because you're going to chase that shit to your grave. And we all know what money it does. And it does a lot for us in society. But it also hurts a lot if you look at it with the wrong approach. And it's in this space, man, where we have to get back to a space of love, because if we don't, man, we already see where we are. We have to get back to a space of common sense. Getting outside of our feelings, understanding like, okay, yeah, I may not like this guy, I may not like this person, I may wonder how this person got this, but it's none of my business at the end of the day. And if I haven't seen this man hurt somebody with that physical, it's wrong for me to think that he's going to do the same thing to me or to go off that, because if you live long enough, Reddy, you know that you hear those stories come back around full circle. So the people that talk about you always find out what they was actually dealing with in the background. So those people that prosecuted you, man, they aren't in a space where they forgot about that. They are living in a forever jail, because guess what? That wasn't just done to your ass. That shit was probably done to 20 other like Indian folks, Black folks, Hispanic folks, Latino folks. Like, bro, you were just one of the people that were tremendously impacted. So let's take a real look and put that person under a microscope and see the true impact that they had. They won't do it. That stuff is going to disappear like Epstein's list. You know what I'm saying? like, and
you're right.
So no, bro, like, I commend you, man. I thank you for being so transparent on here, bro. I'm glad, and I understand. Look, you said that you're back in business, but I think you're winning still in that space, right? Because now you don't have the stresses of the CEO, and you're still you're still good, you're still comfortable. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I'm glad you brought up to your attention was your friends, your family. You know what I'm saying?
I made myself few changes, Devin. I don't consider myself as a business guy anymore. I do business as a part of my job. That's what I do now. When I come home, I don't bring business with me anymore. Mm-hmm. Before, I used to work 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Now, when I come home, I don't take a big phone call. If I have to talk business call, I go out. Never talk business, because now business is part of my life, like I do something else. So, I travel a lot. I try to spend so much time with my family. I make my life adjustable. I continue to pray God and thank God for everything. I try to go to church. I try to go to give my testimonies. I tell people to encourage. I help 50, 60 people right now, who are going through my situation, who are being indicted, who are charged, who are going to trial. I talk to them, continue to talk to them, tell them don't do
50 or 60 people right now.
Right now. So I have no problem. I tell them, don't worry, just be happy. I don't want to say be happy, but have a faith.
Have faith.
I don't know what kind of God you admire. Some people like Hindu God, some people like Christian God, some people like Jewish God,
Facts.
Some people like Islam. I don't care.
Facts.
You have your faith, but make sure that faith is strong.
Facts, bro.
That's all I say. Faith is strong. That faith can keep you strong. Once you have that here, focus, write down your problems, work on one problem. You can work 3 problems at a time.
Right. It's the part where I learned I thought this battle was, how do you eat an elephant? You break that joint down one piece at a time. You know what I mean? you can't, you gonna kill yourself trying to eat it all at one time.
No,
Literally.
that's where we get trouble all the time. Is we first of all, when I got into trouble, I had so much feeling I want to go tell the world that I didn't do shit.
Yeah.
But I decided, you know what? I don't need to tell. People will know one day. So
Facts.
don't worry about, that's what the government wants you to do. Like go and do this. No, I don't want to tell anybody. If you don't believe me, Devin, I don't give a shit about you.
Facts, bro.
Because right?
Facts. Yeah.
Because even if I tell you, you still believe the same thing because that's what
Facts.
you believe, right?
Yeah.
So I don't worry about the people who don't worry about my thing. If they don't trust me, I don't care.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. So what question here is what is important to you? Your family is important to you. My family is important to me. That's
Facts.
it.
That's it.
But you know what? This God helps us to keep together and keep.
But I think the part I'm glad I had this conversation, man, because I get this perspective. People that don't know you know. Normally, I have when I have these conversations, but you talk, a lot of people dealing with self-doubt, that they don't have confidence. Bro, you're the complete opposite of that. You've always been very confident. You always seemed like you knew what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you always moved in a space where you were happy. It seemed like you were happy. You know what I'm saying? So even working the way you were working, it's like you woke up that morning, maybe tired. It's like, all right, let's do it. 12 more hours. But you had a goal in mind, and I've seen you. I've never seen you coming in a space where you like, oh, I don't feel like working these 12. I've never seen that, right? So for you to get to that space of suicide is big, man, because it shines light on what we hear mostly in the media. Like I said earlier, like this person was sad, or I never knew. No, you don't always have to be a sad person. You don't always have to have low self-esteem.
Exactly. That's the whole point, right? People think that the guy who is always like weak and no, people like me, right? Look at me. Yeah. I was like alpha male, right? I was like never. You can never believe me. I'm always ready to take, right? I always confident. But you know what? When I always felt this is how I wanted to give take home message one, right? Sometimes we think that we are in control. Man, we are not in control.
Man, my grandmother told me that. She said, if you think God listens to you, he said, what did she say? God laughs at our plans or something like that one day. Like
exactly. No, whatever it is. If you think you're in control, you're not in control. You accept somebody as, being confident is not a crime. But all I'm saying is keeping faith always keeps you grounded. Keeping faith always keeps you, gives you a little bit more clarity in life. I think, I tried to commit suicide on my weakest moment. I have no problem in accepting that. I'm not shy to say that, but I want everybody. I didn't tell my children. My children didn't know still today. But, I hope one day I sit with my children and I tell them, hey, I tried to do this. That was the stupidest thing I did in my life.
Right.
You don't have to, because you know why you didn't have to kill yourself? Guess what? If I killed myself, I would not have been here. I would not have been sitting with you. That's what I want to tell my children.
You put up a good point right there too, man. I wanted to ask, so I know here in the U.S. it's like they call you weak. You know what I'm saying? Or they say if when you get to that space. How is that looked at in Indian culture?
I'll tell you one thing. If you want to commit suicide, if anybody, one person want to, how strong you need to be to kill yourself?
Facts.
That is the strongest person. Unless you're freaking strong, you can never kill yourself. Trust me, because I tried. Right? I'm telling you.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm telling you, honestly.
Yeah, facts, bro.
You did go to struggle. That struggle is not easy struggle.
Yeah, that's right. That ain't no easy fight.
Now hear me out. If you're that strong, why the hell you need to kill yourself? Go beat the shit out of everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you though. Yeah.
So you need to be strong to kill yourself because it's not easy.
Yeah.
If you're that strong, you don't need to kill yourself because you can beat every art out there.
I came across it was a video of I forgot the rabbi's name, and he was talking about that one of his followers she kept saying that her son was weak for killing himself. But then the rabbi's perspective was totally off. He was like, that man avoided killing himself for 6 years straight. He avoided the affliction. He was really one of the strongest people for that long time. And every time he survived or fought that thought, he saved somebody else because we live in a bubble. He was like, so if he's showing that he can push through just a little bit of time, he's also showing somebody else in that space that can continue to push through a little bit more time. So this is that space, man, that I still don't understand what God has me doing.
I know. But yeah, I know. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Before you ask me a question, I never answered it. Yeah, the stigma is there in India. India people think that
There you go.
the weak people they do it, and honestly, but I don't give a shit what other people. I never paid attention to other people. Trust
But
me, it's your
but
life. You're
it's
reading your life, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
made some choices. Yeah, you made mistakes. So what the fuck, man? Move on.
yeah,
You
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
rebuilding yourself like just like I am rebuilding
Right.
myself. Guess what we're doing differently? In addition to building ourselves, we are helping other people.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
So we are better than other people who can judge us sitting somewhere and say, hey, these are weak assholes. I don't give a shit. But they're not helping. We are
That's
helping.
facts. No, I asked that question, man, because I have a few friends that that's from Africa, and they kind of this thing with male suicide is going up all around the world, and the younger generation, they're more like, man, like it's looked down upon as a weakness, like, and it's like they're damn near kill you yourself themselves if you get to that space. So it's when you hear about the stigma worldwide, man, and we're
The
starting to
stigma.
talk
Yeah, the
the
stigma there.
stigma.
Stigma. Psychiatric illnesses are stigma. People don't believe that. In India, they don't believe in stigma. They think that you have psychiatric. They don't even tell them that I have depression. They don't tell people that I have bipolar condition. They don't people tell that I have anxiety. That's stigma, right? But
Yes,
guess
facts.
what? It takes time to society to learn everything. It's exactly how it is in 60s in US. In 60s in psychiatry, there's huge stigma. It's the same thing there in the third world country. But the sad part is third world country has not a lot of money to take care of their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm telling you, here for one psychiatric medication, it costs $3,000, per month, and Medicaid is broke. Everybody's broke by paying these medications. You know who's making our politicians? They let these. I don't know. I don't want to comment anybody, but that's when you go to third world countries. You don't pay $3,000. You pay freaking $1. You get a whole month of medication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got all the medications dirt cheap, man.
Yeah. Facts. That's facts,
Dirt
man.
cheap. HIV, you need $3,000 worth of medications here. In India, you need $30 per month. $30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know. There's so many problems we can talk. We can't solve all the
Bro, we
problems.
can talk about it. If you can talk all day, all night, ready on that.
Yeah, all night, right? You can go on, right? But the thing is here, why we are here? We are here to let everybody out there. If I don't know how many are listening or how many will listen, is guys, if you have a problem, guys, it's okay to have a problem.
Yeah.
If you have you go into the dark, yes, okay, but trust in God, have a faith. If me and Devin can get over our problems, and we are here to give the part, hoping that it could help one person. That's all I care.
Facts.
If it stops one person from committing that suicide, and you know what, hey, if VJ Reddy can do it, let me do it. The same God could help me too. Let me come back. And if that guy comes and tells the story, it's like, pay it forward, man. God help me to be here. And I wish, I'm helping, and if you do anything else, if you want me to come to Baltimore, I can come. I can walk in, man. I'm not afraid. I don't give a shit. I love Baltimore. You know that, right?
No, bro.
All my customers are. I can come. I can talk to anybody. I can tell all the kids, man, you need help. I can come up with something. We need to raise $1,000. I don't mind. I can call people, man. Give me $100. I need to. For doing good, Devin, any day, count me in. You know what I mean?
Hey, buddy, I appreciate that, man. That's a two-way street, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Like anytime, okay?
That's a two-way street, man. Look, I thank you for blessing my soul with your transparency.
Yeah, I know you call me always fam. I'm telling you, man, that means a lot, and I wanted to be the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you need help. You want to help somebody. You need my help. Anytime, call me out, bro. Okay?
I appreciate that, buddy, man. I appreciate that.
Nice talking. I hope you liked it. I told you no filters. I will say anything. I never prepared. I never asked you any questions.
Me neither, bro. I had a busy day, bro. I came hopped on, tired. I don't know. Let me hop on. I had this conversation because I was excited. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Hey, but tell Jonah, if you tell her, we didn't talk bad about Jonah. And this is not, hey, Jonah, we want to say, man, apologies, man, if you feel
I think you're still on, man. But Jonah got a sense of, hold on. He did say something. Hold on 1 second. He's crying out loud with the laughing emoji. I don't know if you probably can't see it.
I know.
You probably can't see it because my backdrop, but he's crying, bro, laughing. So nah, man.
Devin, thank you, bro. We'll meet one day and we'll grab a drink, or I don't know if you have a beer or not, but if you can,
bro. I'm down.
One day, man. We'll have.
I'm gonna
Maybe
get
we'll
Quasi
take
up
Jonah
there too,
out.
bro.
Maybe we'll take Jonah out, both of us, you know.
But look, I'm gonna give Quasi, Dante, Jonah. We're gonna go hang out.
Yeah, Crazy Dante. Yeah, we should have fun, man. We'll go to ball game, man. Maybe Oreo or something. Yeah, when I'm in town, I'll let you know. We'll plan some get together, okay?
All right, man. Good talking to you,
Thanks,
man.
Alvin. Thank you, man. Thank you. See you, bro. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. I'm about to get. Let me see. Let me log you out of here, ready. Let me see.
Thanks, bro.
No, thank you, man. I don't know what's going on. My fruit computer on froze. Like, go ahead. There you go. Pick out. Boom. What? Bear with me, y'all. I don't know what happened to my computer. It froze up on me, and we are still live. Oh, bro. All right, I'm back. Excuse that. But y'all, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I hope you got something out of this show. Jonah, bro, we wasn't talking about you, man. Let me see. I missed the comments. I missed that, Jonah. Jonah says when they say when you commit suicide, you may end things for yourself, but starts a lot of other things for other people. No, that's facts. But in that space, man, like it's not you're thinking, this is the best option for the other people around you. And so it's in that space where you're right. Like they don't realize the chain impact that suicide causes. I didn't even at the time when I was contemplating it. You don't realize that the implications of it, and this stuff impacts your kids. It impacts your kids. It impacts their kids, and go on, man. To now you done doubt traumas down, and some of my friends that have lost their parents to suicide, man. We're all the same age, man. They're still dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they strong with it, but it still impacts them at times. So no, you're completely right, man. It does, and I thank God every day that I didn't, follow through on the times that I've really thought about it and really attempted to. The time that I was actually showing up, sure I was going to do it, man. That was nobody but God that made my aunt call me that day. So again, man, thank y'all for checking it out. I was tired as hell today. My daughter's birthday. We had a little birthday party. Been on a run. Got to work out in early. Get ready for the week. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Me and the crew coming back with another dope conversation, man, to continue all our last week conversation. I hope to see y'all then. I'm out. Good night.